Riverbend means Riverbend Talent, means the Sea Shanty Sing-Along already underway down at Morrison's Irish Pub. Riverbend Talent brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. We got the Saloonatics already underway at Fast Eddie's tonight until 10 o'clock. Also happening tonight, we got the American Hauntings presents Museum After Dark, a $20 a click for tickets, 7 to 9 tonight at the American Oddities Museum in Alton. We got the American Jackals at Johnson's Corner tonight at 7 o'clock. Open mic scheduled tonight at the Conservatory with Scott Miller. We got Hillbilly Casino already underway. They're from Nashville, and they'll have their guest Spilly Nelson with them tonight until 10 o'clock at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey. We got Boys in the Band. That's an Alabama tribute, 7:30 at the Wild E Theater in Edwardsville. The Skylark Brothers underway until 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Shotgun Macias starts at 7, goes till 10 at the Stagger Inn again. Butch Moore underway at Peel Woodfire Pizza until 9. Drew and Audrey underway already at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon. We got Nick Elmore underway at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey until 8:30. And over at Marshmallow in St. Louis tonight, Chaos Collective with Juggernaut Agenda and Cast a Shadow. That's a $10 cover, 7 o'clock at Marshmallow in St. Louis. And,
Dramatic pause.
There's nothing to say about you anymore.
Nothing that hasn't been said many times over. None of it any good. Man, that's a lot going on a Thursday evening here. And, there was one of them I was going to comment on, but you threw me off with your big dramatic pause, I'll be honest. So, hey, Thursday night, all that going on. And in addition to that, you got Riverbend Talent, brought to you by Halpin Music Company and, of course, Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. And because they're so willing to sponsor us for the past 10 years, we get to do things like hang out here and talk about music, about art, and have people just hang out with us.
And here, we also get to hear the same story every week that you tell.
Yeah, I whatever that story is, I'll tell it again. I don't know which one it is, but I'm sure. Now we've got Ryan joining us again, man. You've been on the show from Jake's Leg, and this is a big one though. This is like every time we have you guys on. The first time it's been years and years ago. Every time we have you on, it's something funny happens. You figuring out that Dennis was in Cottonmouth.
That was great.
That was funny. I mean, there's been so many cool things, but this one's getting me, man, because March 13th is now officially in St. Louis Jake's Leg Day. There's been a proclamation made of this. I mean, it's 50 years of Jake's Leg. This is the 50 years. And I knew that, and you were coming in to talk about that. You were supposed to come in a couple weeks ago, and something happened. And
I'm double booked. There was an event for the 50th. Actually, that's what happened.
Yeah. So there you go. But you guys got a big year coming up with the 50th. But man, what a great way to kick it off, being honored.
Wow. Yeah. The mayor is like, and the city obviously. The proclamation was a little overwhelming, obviously, and but it was for me. I've been listening to Jake's Leg all my life, and I love the guys, and I love they got some recognition from the city. They've definitely dedicated to the city, but they play that many shows, and that night, last Friday was the buzz, in the crowd. There was just a buzz on stage. We just had a great time. It was. We went down we met down at the mayor's office, and picked it up and took a photo, and it was unbelievable to see it. The actual one,
the actual proclamation, the actual print.
Well, yeah. So we only have one, but we have a company working on making us all copies.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be cool. It was. like I said, Jake's Lake Day. I guess we got another party to go to next year.
Well, and so you go to the mayor's office. He gives you a proclamation, gives you a handshake, and on the proclamation, as you pointed out, it mentions Grateful Dead, which is really, that's pretty cool. Just to have them thrown in there on an official city proclamation.
When you read it, it's funny. Whereas, and we were blessed that Joe Edwards came out and read the proclamation to the crowd. And give real props to my our guy that works on all of our art and everything, Jeff Watkin. I texted him the afternoon of the show. Everything was really happening fast, and so I called Pat over at the pageant and told him I just need to figure out who's going to read this thing before we play. He goes, well, I asked Joe, and I was like, wow, that's a great idea. He's like, he was coming out, anyway. And within 5-10 minutes, he was on, and I was just like, nice. So it's a long day, when you set up a double theater show. So you got to stack the bands, and the crews there are just amazing. We were loaded up, with all of our crew and their crew. And I think it was like the Masters teardown, 15 minutes. They had us off stage in 15.
Oh, yeah.
But, we heard from so many people. The proclamation it's acknowledged the bands, exploring the Grateful Dead, and it says the Grateful Dead on it, and that kind of cracked us up. But my favorite part was about, inspiring and all the support for the local venues, because a lot of us are products of Jake's Leg playing around here. My story I told that day was when my brother took me to see Jake's Leg. We were, non-internet. We didn't have too much access to, but we knew the Grateful Dead. And when we saw Jake's Leg, we didn't even know people could do that. We're like, you can play Grateful Dead. So I was thinking about that. I was like, well, that kind of inspired me I'm going to go play what I want. Yeah. I don't have to play something just because. And I didn't want to touch the Grateful Dead because I couldn't play like those guys. Yeah, so it was awesome.
What a day though! You start off there, you get the proclamation. Now you head to the pageant.
Well, it was like the day before we got the proclamation, so we just kept a wrap on it,
Oh God, I thought it was the same day that they.
Yeah, we were like, let's just keep it under our hat for a day, and then they told everybody the next morning, and it's our day. It's our day. I called my couple buddies. I was like, yeah, it's my day. Yeah, it's our day. And they're challenged me to say Happy Jake's Leg Day 100 times today. I said, okay, so I tried that. We had a lot of fun with it.
Got to get a clicker on that one because I'm losing track.
Well, it was fun to hear from a lot of people, a lot of people that been seeing the band for a long time. I have these, I call them OG Jake's Leggers that I've known since I first started playing with them, and I went from crowd to stage, so I was still hang out with the crowd a lot of time, and CJ and a bunch of guys that I know they called me over the weekend, just tell me how awesome it was and how much of a buzz was in the room. That meant a lot. So
you know what though, you say you went from the crowd to the stage, and so you're still walking around with the people in the crowd or whatever. I mean, that is actually a very Grateful Dead thing to do. I remember talking with Bobby Weir about it, where we were talking about how much the crowd affected the band. As much as the band is the band is affecting the crowd. Obviously, the crowd. And he said that literally until maybe late '80s or mid '80s or something, Bill Graham and Jerry would go out and walk around on the lot, but they were, in the 70s, that was a lot easier to do, and even the early 80s. Once Clive Davis gave him Touch of Grey, you couldn't walk out there anymore. But
we liked, we got some great shows planned this year and a bunch of venues that we love. And we're so looking forward to it. A lot of time, we the space that we have, we're like kind of. I'm an old drummer, so I got like stretch out a little bit, warm up the chops a little bit, So that's typically what I'm doing anymore before, and maybe even during breaks sometimes. But I like to get tuned up a little bit before, and. The rest of the guys, I don't know, they could probably do it blindfolded, backwards, upside down, so they don't really need to warm up too much.
Well, Randy won't even hold his own guitar up anymore.
Yep.
That lazy. No, dude.
He's played out, man. He's played out with that racket.
Dude, so Randy now using this guitar stand, and man, I'm telling you what, that is a weird watching him play with that. Like your guitar doesn't move with you if you move.
It moves if he wants it,
Oh, it does. It's got a slight swivel on it.
Well, one of our guys, Pat, designed a plate for that thing.
Nice.
And it's like it's a Travis Bean, and it's a heavy guitar. It's a steel neck guitar. Yeah. It's like holding the Gibson up for 50 years. You do it.
A friend of mine brought a Les Paul over probably 6 months back, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play this tonight?" And I was like, "No, it's heavy. I don't even have to pick it up, and I can tell you, it's too heavy for me, man."
I really don't touch his Travis Bean. He's got a couple of them. He's got a nice guitar collection. He doesn't talk about.
He's been playing for a little while. I mean, I heard one of the bands he's in's like on their 50th year.
On their 50th year, he's like in show 8,768.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, we do track shows. I heard. We were at a meeting, I don't know how many years ago, and our bass player is the spreadsheet master, and he knows exactly how many shows he played. I was like, well, if you know how many you played, I know how many I played. And I was in like a 1,600 mark, and I was like, holy crap.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of
that's
shows.
a lot of shows, times by, 1,600 times 5 hours, and that's about what it takes to do the thing, and you're sitting on stage for a couple of years consistently.
Consistently.
Yeah. I'm not griping about it at all. I've had a great career with these guys. It's so much fun. They let me do what I want and help drive it along. And
now there's Jake's Leg Day.
March 13th.
March 13th. Boy, you got to start.
Well, there's a history, of drummers in there. Zav Gaz, he was one of my very favorite drums growing up because I watched him so much. Yeah. His hi-hat work is like the two guys that I studied over there with Jake Slag, Azad and Lee Krem, and both of them were hi-hat masters. I mean, they could do the exact hi-hat no matter what. They were always coming back to this great hi-hat pattern. They were so dedicated to that consistency on the hi-hat. They would do so many other things happening, but I would always, I'd come back to that hi-hat really strong, like perfectly every time, consistently. And I tried to emulate that for a long time, of coming from the ride patterns back to the hi-hats consistently with the vocals. Yeah. It's a really good dead shot, and I picked that up from those guys. And so there's a legacy of great musicians that I'm getting close. I think Azad was in the band like 24 years. 21.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's a long ride. 50, but 50 years is just, it blows my mind. Bands that are like successful in the sense of hit songs and millions of dollars still can't keep it together for that long. You know what I mean? The Beatles they had more hits than anybody, faster than anybody, and they still were only together a couple of years. Really.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll quote Randy on this because he said it exactly right. I listened to the show last night, and after when they brought us out, he said, "We couldn't have done it without you." For the love of music, and I was like, that is like perfect, because literally Jake's like such a fanatical fan base for so long. You could say fanatical because it's 50 years, now. I guess you can use that word now because they hung straight. You got people that's been seeing the band over 40 years. It's absolutely redonkulous to me.
We'll call them zealots. Oh yeah. Actually, so like I've been going seeing Jake's Leg. I don't even know how long. I guess since probably the first time I saw him would have had to been late 80s, early 90s. And my favorite, my favorite was always the farm out there and kind of by your area. Not quite Benell. So I feel like they did a couple of them. They would do the shows at
Benell. My backyard.
Right. They would do the shows at the Coliseum. They did it outside, is what I remember.
About a mile before you get to the Coliseum is Uncle Monk's farm.
That's where those were my favorite.
That's where he'd kill me to leak out there might be a farm party this year, but he'd kill me if I said that.
Yeah. So you shouldn't say that.
I probably shouldn't say that. We're doing a lot of fun things this year. Who knows what we're going to do? You never know. Mystery band. Well, real quick before this show that we did Friday night, JP, they call him John Pendleton. He's the owner of Proper Cannabis over in Missouri. Him and I met, I don't know how many years ago, we're buddies, and he calls me in August last year, and he says, I just came from the Dead 60, and I got to hang out with Jay Blakesberg. And if you're not familiar with Jay Blakesberg, he's an American photographer from San Francisco who shot the Grateful Dead from like 78 on, full access to the guys, and his photo collection is insane, and John's like, I'm gonna do a art, pretty much Jay's photography is gonna be all over my dispensaries for a month, and then let's have a party at the end of it, and let's get Jake Slegg involved. I was like, yes, I can speak for the whole band. Let's do this, and that's how it started. And then Melvin got ended up added to the bill. But man, I tell you what, we're Joe Russo was contacted, J-Rab was contacted, Warren Haynes was contacted. We almost had Haynes in town doing that with us, and it was like kind of going through and it was trying to make it work.
Almost had Haynes.
And then so hats off to John, his team, and Four Hands, Kevin Limp. He's amazing. These guys just put in a ton of work on the show. We got the pageant involved, and Pat and we just all made it happen. It was a great team. Totally pulled it off. John and I saw us in the green room. I was like, it's finally here. It's like August while you were jogging and we're planning this thing. He's a jogging maniac. He's jogging doing meetings. And he's a great guy. John and his team just killed it. And, of course, Kevin is always killing it down there at the Limp. And anyway, so thanks to those guys.
Yeah, there you go. Man. Warren Haynes.
Yeah, right.
That dude. Yeah, I was actually, when you brought up 1,600 shows that you played and 1,800, and I thought of Warren for a second because when I met Warren, my first question to him was, "Do you have a house?" And he laughed and said, "Yeah, but I don't know where it's at or what color it is." Yeah. And he went over his tour schedule with me, and he had 3 days off that year, 3 days without a concert, and there were multiple weeks on end where he was doing 2 shows. It'd be the opening act and
It was like the first Bonnaroo. Warren was the floater musician.
Yeah, right.
Right? And you ever see Warren's guitar tech? It's his brother.
Looks just like him.
Good. His brother, and with his brother has to keep clean shaven to be identified. But that's how me and my friends knew Warren was coming out. We'd see his brother or Warren, look, one of the two, turning a Marshall stack around. It was always he had a Marshall stack position on every stage. I think his brother and him were running around with a pedal board and a couple guitars.
Nice.
He hit a golf cart, and they hit. We were impressed at how many stages he was on that day. It was pretty gnarly. Yeah.
The first time I realized that about his brother, he wasn't clean shaven. He looked just like Warren. And when I saw him, when he came out and started taping down some chords and stuff, and I was like, look at Warren go. Yeah. Warren's doing his own stuff because it really looked like Warren Haynes was down there on all four.
Well, it was like a Warren spotting so often back then.
Yeah.
So. It was Jerry's birthday, and Phil Lush and friends were playing at the Fox. And my buddy called me and had to.
I was there, yeah.
Heck yeah, that was a great show, right?
Warren opened it. Warren played with Phil and friends, and he also came out to the parking lot in the Mule. I was there. I was standing there. I saw it, man.
We were walking, and there's Warren's brother. We're like, what's my brother doing out here? And he set up a barricade, opened up these van doors on the
Mule-mobile,
bus.
yeah.
Mule-mobile, yeah.
Yeah.
And Warren steps out, does Patchwork Quilt, and just ended us all. And he played Patchwork Quilt. What was the other song he played? I don't know. I just remember Patchwork Quilt. And
I
we were
can't
all
remember,
like,
but that was in that little parking lot.
Bonnaroo shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you were such a. I was going to say a bad word. You were on every stage. You dirty.
And that
dirty
was
dog.
that was when Phil had both Warren and Widespread Panic. I'm losing his name here for a minute. Anyway, that was that show at the Fabulous Fox on Jerry's birthday. I was lucky enough to sit front row on that one and just watch those guys throw down, man.
Right.
But yeah, great guys there, man. Congratulations again on the Jake's Lake Day and on doing the show with Melvin Seals. That's always he's a great dude.
I'm a huge Garcia fan. His work with Garcia was over a decade long, and Jared had a fine ear for an amazing organ player.
Here's the thing, though. I do love Melvin. I'm also a Merle fan.
Yeah.
It's really hard because they're two totally different things, kind of. I mean, they're two sides of the same coin, we'll say. Both keyboard players that played with JGB long term and different sounds completely. But, man, I love both of their styles so much, man. So what do we got going on, Mr. Bashy Boo?
Well, I just wanted to tap into our listeners that are probably tuned in here and may have never heard this show before because we came off of a softball game and we're heading towards the Illini and the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. That's
Pigpen. I didn't introduce him.
Hello.
And the member of Jake's Leg that's here is Ryan, the drummer. So,
percussionist, yeah.
And this is typical. If you're just tuning in, we very seldom follow the rules.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. I don't even know the rules. How could I follow them?
Yeah.
Well, it did kind of sound like we joined you guys mid-conversation.
Yep.
And you finally circled back around and explained what the proclamation was.
Oh yeah. We did kind of. I mean, that was exciting. I think we were both a little excited and jumped right into it.
Well, I tell you what, it's trying to explain it. It's still tough here.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Jake's Legs Day.
Whereas
in St. Louis, 3/13.
3/13.
And I'm glad because that date actually is not a good date. I remember in 2020. It became a national disaster, and I don't even like to mention it anymore because I don't want it to happen again. And, we all stopped playing music for a while.
Oh, my gosh.
All the venues shut down for a while.
That corresponds?
Yeah, it's the same exact day.
Wow.
Now, I've heard since then,
gnarly.
though, that it was like a couple days before, but I remember specifically it being on Friday the 13th. March.
So the day I remember it really going awry was a weekend because we had tickets to go to the pageant that night, and the show, whatever show it was, got canceled, and it was like, wait a minute, they're canceling shows, and all of a sudden everything was canceled. But yeah,
we played Del Mar Hall on Saturday night in that March, and Goose and Pigeons playing ping pong played the next night. And then Pat shut down the pageant. And that's when we stopped playing. I don't know the date. If we can bring some happiness back to that date, that would be freaking great.
That's where I was going with that. Let's get
I
off
lost
that
like
subject.
68. We canceled 68 shows by June or something like that. We were going through some. Well, the Post called us, me and Randy, and we did an interview, and it was like we were going through mountains and valleys of emotion. It was
everybody
struggle.
was.
Yeah, it was like a faucet turning off. But anyway, we're not going there.
Yeah.
We're bringing back the good juju to that day.
We're going to talk about Friday, March 20th here for a little bit. What's going on around the Riverbend, thanks to Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. They like to have us tell our listeners who may be new to the show tonight what happens around the Riverbend, and the list is unbelievable every single week. We very seldom get through it, but we do keep a copy of the whole thing at cottonmouth.org. That's our little workspace where we put all this together, and it helps out bands, it helps out venues, And it definitely helps out the music fan to find out where they might want to go, because there's tons of places. And we'll start it off on Friday night with the Trinity Way open mic, which is a favorite of ours, Pigpen. That's at Mavis Coffee House in Old Milton School from 6 to 9 on Friday night, March 20th. We also got DJ Pink Siren, a dance party at Bubby and Sissy's, 9 o'clock. Borderline, 7 to 11. And Fast Eddie's in Alton on Friday. And New Prairie Drifters, same time slot, 7 to 11 at the VFW in Alton. And Leadfoot with the same time slot at Baker's and Hale in Godfrey. Lanny and Julie out at the Locks Brick House on Friday night from 7 until 10. We got Whiskey Revival, 7 o'clock at Backstage. That's the old Wigglers at the lake at Holiday Shores in Edwardsville. Schaefer and Sims, 8 to 11 at Sam's Last Chance Saloon. That's the Corner Tavern right across from the Wild E Theater in Edwardsville, where Head East is scheduled to play at the Wild E Theater all weekend long, 8 o'clock. On Friday night, instant replay, 9 o'clock, right across the parking lot at the Backstage Bar and Patio in Edwardsville. Strangers around the corner at Big Daddy's from 6 to 9. And we got the legendary Butch Moore playing the Stagger Inn with his friends Paul Nienhaus, the fourth, and Matt Gadigan. That's 5 to 8. That's the happy hour at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, a legendary place there. Rewind, 6 to 9 at the 1818 Chop House. In Edwardsville, we got Sacred Sessions featuring George Kershaw, 5 to 8 at the Sacred Grounds Cafe in Edwardsville. Aaron Wilkinson out at the cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon. Down at the Mill, we got Somebody to Love, Big Pen. Which tribute would that be?
It's either Queen or Jefferson Airplane.
Well, since you can read, you probably got it right. Right. I think it actually may be a little bit of both, quite honestly. But
really?
It's listed as Queen tribute. And that's down at the Mill in Granite City. Rockin' Rascal at Tegan's in Granite City at 8. Toxic Johnny, 7 to 11 at Bindy's in Granite City. We got Death by Hairspray, 80s theme murder mystery dinner party. It's a $60 dinner, which includes a chicken dinner buffet. 6:30 at Pierre Marquette Winery in Grafton. Excuse me. We got Road Point Fest still going on. We're in the semis. This is the first round of that. The Down Bads. Remember them?
Yeah, I do.
They're
Nice,
in there.
nice. Good for them.
A Mission, A Match to Burn, Allison, Sideshow, and Sixes High. Also, Failure to Be, and that's at Pops and Sage on Friday. The fellas at the Long Shots at Fairmont Park in Collinsville, and Pat Liston's going to be up in Highland, and he plays every weekend around here. So, legendary singer of Mama's Pride, for those who don't know, and
I was just talking to Jumpin' Johnny from Psychedelic Symphony today. We're talking about the open mic coming up and this and that. And he said, man, you know what? I saw a Mama's Pride documentary yesterday and they mentioned you.
Yeah, I told you about that. I sure do. Danny Liston is painting.
I love Danny, man. He's awesome.
Painting while he's being interviewed.
That's Danny.
And
He's still working.
That's when he brings you up. So there you go.
Yeah, Dan. Love the Liston boys.
And for all you new listeners, Pigpen is a huge star. Is what he's trying to tell you right there. That's what he's really trying to tell you here on WBGZ Alton. Ruby Lee is going to be playing out in California, and the band Feel is going to be playing in Minnesota this weekend. We also got Nothing People Like a Switch and the Incredible Goats playing at Red Flag in St. Louis, all on Friday night. And let's do a little bit of Saturday, and then we'll kick it back, and we're going to jump into the Jake's Leg schedule for April. So real quick, some stuff nearby on Saturday. We got the Three Stooges at Cat Daddy's, 7 to 10. We got Cole Tarrant, 7 to 10 at Bossa Nova in Alton. We got Chastity Valentina. I guess it's ERA. It could be ERA for the sports fans out there. Ariana DeMore and Prince Trila, 10 o'clock at Bubby's and Sissy's. We all know what that is, right? That's a drag show. Naked Soul, 1:30 to 5:30, and Borderline 7 to 11 at Fast Eddie's in Alton. The number 4 combo is canceled due to illness this week, and City Heat's going to step up and step in for them from 7 to 10 at the VFW in Alton. We got Cabin Fever out in Godfrey at Baker's and Hale from 7 to 11. We tried to get a guest for this thing going on out at Hathaway Hall. It's called ALTV Movie Awards, a film screening and improv comedy. Starts at 8 a.m. and goes till 10:30, and that's at Hathaway Hall at Lewis and Clark College in Godfrey. Psychedelic Symphony, you mentioned, they're playing the Legion in East Alton from 7 to 11, and Danger Party at the Pump House, 8 o'clock in Wood River. Blues and Grass at Chico's from 6 to 10. Rewind at Grafton Winery Brew House from 3 to 7. Whiskey River, 8 o'clock at the Legion in Kane. We got the Waffle House Fight Club at the Bloody Bucket Saloon from 7 to 10. And, they're interesting, Pigpen. We got to get them on.
Yeah.
They do all requests. They don't know what you're going to request, but they can play anything, and they learn it right there on the spot, no matter what you request. So I say go out and stump them just for fun.
I've seen guys do that, the dueling pianos, where there'd be two of them doing it, and someone requests a song that they don't know. One of them walks out in the hall and learns it real quick, watches the video, comes back in, starts playing. The other one just jumps in, you know.
Yeah.
You guys make me cry.
That's a good place to remember where I was, because it's on Waffle House Fight Club. I mean, how can you forget that name, right? We are talking to Ryan from Jake's Leg. He's the drummer, and they are celebrating 50 years. 50 years as a band. And they have been given their own day in St. Louis.
They've been playing as long as longer than I've been alive.
Right. March 13th will forever, from now on, be known as Jake's Leg Day. And Pigpen, you know, we always say who was the biggest star we had on. We know it's Bonnie Bramlett, but we've never had a band get their own day.
I don't think so.
Jake's Leg just went right to the top there.
Yeah. I think so. I think this is a first.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. You are correct about that. I don't know any other bands that have their own day. So, man, look at you.
So
Chuck Berry doesn't even have that. No, I don't.
And he
Sure,
should.
it's a Chuck Berry Day.
I'm just kidding.
All over the land.
Right.
Chuck Berry Day.
So coming up in April, you guys are going to be at the Old Rock House.
Yeah.
To kick things off on the 4th.
Yeah, we love the Rock House.
And you can
great team down there.
You can go to jakesleg.com for any of this information I'm about to throw out there. And this is a ticketed event, it looks like.
Yeah, you can do walk-ups too, but there's like probably some kind of discount for buying early.
Right.
Sure.
Right, so that's April 4th at the Old Rock House. They've changed that up a bit. It'll be neat to get back in there.
It's that stage is aging well. That's what I say. It's got a really cracking snare drum room for me. I really love the sound of it personally. But and Weber and his guys down there. They're a lot of fun to work with, and we can do good projections with them on shows, and they give us a lot of good opportunities. So yeah, we love that place.
And then, not quite 420, but April 18th, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of the number 420, Pigpen, I want to announce that we are right now at 419 subscribers. So whoever the next subscriber is.
They're 420.
There's guys like unsubscribing right now going, I'm going to wait till he gets back.
We should have 19 subscribers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. And I bring up 420 because Sunshine Daydream 420 Street Fest is the April 18th show.
We've done a couple of those. They're right down there across the street from there's a parking lot by the Tivoli. I think they shut down that parking lot. And that's I think our third one. Sunshine Daydream, they're great. We haven't, I think, looks like we're in the afternoon. Yeah, we're like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to say coming up here in a little while, we got the Fighting Illini for the sports fans that are still tuned in.
Yes.
And I'm reaching out to you right now, sports fans, because the next thing I'm about to mention on the list here,
Oh, yeah.
April 24th, you may have actually been there yourself at some point because this happens every year. The St. Louis Cardinals Grateful Dead Tribute Night featuring Jake's Leg at the Budweiser stage at Busch Stadium, 5:30 to 7:30.
That's right. We're spreading the Grateful Dead love. Proclamations to the Busch Stadium. This is our 12th annual.
Nice.
And just as long as we beat Star Wars every year, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they really do a great. Yeah, we took over Star Wars night. Thank you, Deadheads of St. Louis. It was a gratifying moment for us to hear that from our handler. But no, we obviously it's Cardinals, one of the greatest institutions ever, and my favorite baseball team. So
if you get tickets for this, you get to see you guys and the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, both. And so we play right. The doors, I guess, for the game are like 5, and we start playing like 5:15. So everybody with you do the adder. It's like you want the theme ticket. You can buy just regular ticket, or you hit the theme button, and you get. This year is, I think it's one of those cool like old '80s jackets. Nice. Yeah, I got jerseys. I've got hoodies. A pullover. I mean, they really do great on the art, and then we give a huge donation to. Rex Foundation. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. It's been wonderful to contribute to them every year, and the Cardinals do it right. They called in like a really cool artist, and they've been using him every time. He's from San Francisco and done work with the Dead, and
So
it all in there.
The way it was in the past, I'm probably this way again. You guys are playing inside the stadium, and you play really till right up till the game starting.
We played right up to national anthem usually. Yeah, and it's we get pumped out onto the field. It's kind of fun, and I've never seen myself on a big screen in a stadium, but I hear that I've been on one. So.
On the Jumbotron.
Well, when we play the Blues, there's a TV on stage, so I can see.
Right.
I was like, I guess that's what we look like on TV. But, no, I'm not even thinking about that actually until somebody tells me that.
Right.
So you get a little pregame with Jake's Leg, and then you get the game, and then you get the after party as well, right?
Yeah.
Right down the street.
Yeah, I mean
Broadway Oyster Bar, right?
That stage has got a lot of cred, a lot of resin on the old Bob stage. Gosh. Playing down there, I think they told me 33 years now. Yeah. And John Johnson was one of our, and Steve that owns it now is fabulous too. But John, I knew him for so long, and the food is fabulous down there. So we do the after party. It looks like 9 probably, 9 to midnight.
And what a great day in downtown St. Louis. A Jake's Leg show right up to the Cardinal game, then right after, a couple blocks down the road, little stroll down the road to the old Bob, the Broadway Oyster Bar, and another couple sets, I would imagine there. So.
They send me clips of the announcers at other games talking about our Jake's Leg night, or the Grateful Dead night at the ballpark. Like, I guess there was like a show going on. They're like, well, they got a little bit of work to do before it's a Jake's Leg night at the ballpark up there. And I guess the crowd it wasn't a good turnout for the band or something up there. And somebody sent me that clip of one of the announcers from the Cardinals. So we sent them a bunch of Jake's Leg stuff. And the Cardinals to work for them. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've been in Cardinals Stadium all my life. I'm looking forward to the start of the season. I'm very pumped up. Last year I was kind of checked out of baseball, and this year I feel like I'm into it. So
nice.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good. And that's a pretty exciting April you got lined up there. And there's still one show listed on here that we love every single time you guys show up right here in our town, up the River Road, the scenic byway. Yeah. At the loading dock on May 30th.
Due to like our scheduling and stuff this year, that's the only loading dock show the whole year.
Wow.
So,
Look at that.
So it's early. Right now we won't be back in the fall. I love Pete and Kelsey out there. We've been working out there a long time. I don't know what happened. I'd have to talk to somebody else, but we couldn't get a second date on there. But yeah, we love playing on the river. I mean, I threw some drumsticks at a couple boats one time. I stopped doing that. They wanted it. I was like, "You sure? You sure?" And I suspected it right off the front. Right. Sorry about the paint job.
Got a drumstick in my eye.
Didn't say I was a pitcher.
I mean, and that's the only loading dock show. So, man,
Yeah.
definitely want to get out there.
So, do you have any idea how many shows you're going to play this year? That it's your 50th?
I would like to say 50.
Okay.
You know, everybody, I got that question about 50 times. That's my answer.
I think the odds are 50-50. It'll happen.
Actually, it's right now on the books is somewhere between 25 and 30 shows, I think. We got late to booking 2 years in a row, and everybody that we booked was so forgiving. Thank you, because we just got our. It's still kind of a work in progress. Later in the year, we are going to do the big 50th party. I think it's going to be at the pageant or Del Mar, or a couple nights at Del Mar. There's a couple things we're working on. We're playing the 20th Earthtones Festival this year here in Alton. That's going to be redonkulous. Yeah. Congratulations to Sarah and Christine and everybody. God, I could rave about that team all night long. They're fabulous. So 20. And so we were joking, we got 70 years of awesome coming down to the Earthtones. Yeah, we're adding everything together.
Sure, man, stack that up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so thank you guys for having me on. It's always so much fun.
Man, thanks for coming down and hanging out. Ryan Wilhite of Jake's Leg, man, and what a just a downright nice fella.
Well, thank you very much. I'm from the country, not too far from here.
Right? No, I getting to know you over the years, always a pleasure to hang out with you, to chit-chat with you about whether it's about music, whether it's about life in general. It doesn't matter. It's always good times.
Absolutely,
so,
right back at you.
Thanks again for coming down. Again, that's Ryan Wilhite of Jake's Leg. 50 years, Jake's Leg 50, celebrating this year. 50 years of Jake's Leg. So at some point you got to get out and see one of the 50 shows they're going to do this year.
Yeah, that's a big secret.
All right. Hey,
I don't know if Ryan can stick around or not, but we've been given permission to go a little bit longer if we need to, since we got on late. I don't know what you guys got going on, though. So
I'm ready to hang out.
There you go. There's our answer right there.
All right.
So what we got a few more minutes here. What do we got?
Well, let's get back to Saturday real quick, and then we'll wrap this show up and head on to the NCAA tournament with the Illini. I think that's the right tournament. I'm pretty sure. They did really well this year.
Nice. You know better than me.
I left off in Grafton, didn't I? Behavior intervention, 6 to 10 o'clock at Grafton Pub on Saturday. Jake and Max playing 7 o'clock at Backstage at the Lake and Holiday Shores in Edwardsville. Flip Frog at Wigglers, 7 o'clock in Holiday Shores. Laney and Julie at Sam's Last Chance. It's the Old Corner Tavern in Edwardsville. And head east, night number 2, 7:30 at the Wild E Theater. Hopefully all the keys on the keyboard taken. New Prairie Drifters, 9 o'clock at the Backstage Bar and Patio in Edwardsville. And here's something pretty cool that Sneakies is doing. They're doing World Down Syndrome Day. It's a 10% of their proceeds are going to go to SCI, and SCI provides a better living arrangement for people with, Down syndrome and other things that make it a little tougher to get around in their apartment and those kind of things. So, pretty cool little benefit there.
Absolutely.
At Sneaky's Bar in Edwardsville. And was that the last one? Was the last one on that page. Yeah. We turn another page, and Michelle and Scott are playing at Big Daddy's from 6 to 9, and we got the Songwriters Night featuring Lefty Daytona and others at the Stagger Inn from 5 to 8 in Edwardsville on Saturday. Joey Minor. He was in the Hungarian, 7 to 10 at Barrel and Brew in Edwardsville. Matt Heaton at Global Brew from 7 to 10. And we got Cottage Chills Wrestling Alliance back at the American Legion, 7 o'clock in Edwardsville, instant replay at the Moose, Scott Marlin at Lyle's Tavern in Maryville, and Fleetwood Family at the Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. We've got the Tracy Inman Band down at Deutsch Village Inn and Pontoon Beach on Saturday, and Flipside, 6 o'clock at the Neighborhood Social Club in Pontoon Beach. And down at the Mill, I think you can get this one, Pigpen, Dream Police and Riding the Storm.
We got some Cheap Trick and some REO.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
Tribute down there at the Mill in Granite City. Great little location there. We got the Dude Abides duo, 5:30 to 8:30 at the Press House at the Old Harold Brewery in Collinsville, and Big Mike Aguirre. And the Blue City All-Stars, 7 o'clock at Long Shot, Fairmont Park in Collinsville. And we got a horror convention in town, Gulacon. That's at Pops from 11:30 until 8:30 over at Pops. They do some crazy stuff there. So Gulacon, that ought to be fun.
I thought that was just the gore show that they were having that day.
It might be.
Same thing, I don't know.
Might be. Classic Crush at the VFW in Caseyville, Shotgun Creek out in Troy. We got Brandon Muni in Troy as well. Shotgun at the Time Out Sports Bar, and Brandon Muni at Win for Wine. And Rick Severs and John Huber, they're going to be out at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey on Saturday. And here's one I wanted to. This is up Ryan's way. I wonder if he actually knows this. So this is a 100 years. This is their third promo for this. 100 years for DeCamp Station in Staunton.
Yep. Decamp. Yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah, the building has been there 100 years. They're giving out to the first 100 people, they get replica license plates.
Mm-hmm.
They're also celebrating Route 66 is 100 years old.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's happening at the camp station in Staunton.
I grew up playing music there a lot, so much so I was 17 when I started playing in there under fake ID. And when I turned 21, the owners had known me for like 4 years, and they're like, Ryan. I was like, I've been in there a long time.
See, that building has been there like 100 years. Wasn't it part of like the coal mine or whatever?
There was like a railroad town there, and kind of like a depot town, and the really cool story about that is the gangsters used to travel 66,
Right.
and they held up that restaurant.
Oh,
They brought everybody out of the restaurant and laid
We've heard many stories along the way about those.
Camp Junction. Yeah, that was that was our pub when I was growing up. Yeah, Lauren and Pat and Jim owned it, and they would always book us, and we always had a good time there.
Yeah. So apparently during Prohibition, a lot of the mines were converted into places to put stills. And there's a lot of legend surrounding the Coliseum and tunnels that they found once they tore that down that led off into some of these places. And you ever wonder why they'd have a big Coliseum out in the middle of the country right off the highway?
Oh, yeah.
Every time I drive by that vacant lot, I think of Tina Turner and I in that parking lot. I'm just like, I don't know, that just triggers every time. I'm like, that was like there were buses traveling up 66, on tour. It's pretty cool.
We had one out in Godfrey. It was the Godfrey Civic Center, sitting right out kind of by the college out there that Ike and Tina played. And I got to play in that room, and that's all I was thinking about that night. I was playing like punk rock, but I was still thinking about Tina the whole time.
I grew up with my sisters and my older siblings all going to the Coliseum and telling me about Runaway. And Runaway was like just the band from Staunton. They were 80s band. You guys remember Runaway?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I ended up playing in a band with those guys, with Chris Harpins and Kevin Schranko. Two great guitar players from Staunton there. I think Chris was around there, but I ran into Kevin not too long ago.
That was just an amazing room, man. We got a backstage. We got 2 backstages. What?
You guys went to the Coliseum, so I'm jealous. I never got to go.
I got to play that stage.
Yeah.
That was like my first gig ever. It was.
Yeah.
I sat in with a band. I was in the military already, but my friend's band was playing there, and The band was called Sudden Impact.
Nice.
And they had a female singer, so they did a lot of stuff along those lines. But the guys all wanted to play metal, and they knew I could do that. So I got to do Paranoid and Judas Priest song, if I remember correctly.
Can't go wrong with some Ozzy.
Yeah. And so, yeah, at the Coliseum. And,
Nice. Yeah,
but,
I'm totally jealous. So same with the Mississippi Nights. They were talking about Mississippi Nights, and I was booked there when I first got hired with Jake Slade. I was like, dreams coming true. Going to play the Nights. And the show got moved, and the Mississippi Nights shut down. I was like, shattered it. You know, if you go to Delmar Hall, when I first did a tour with Pat over there, he's like, I did the grade exactly like Mississippi Nights, and it's a slow 18, and it's really nice. I mean, you really can, you know, get a little ground, you know, stepping back in that place. And then, of course, he put that little pit table station there. That was my favorite place. That was the best place to be in Mississippi Nights, up on that wall where those tables were.
Yeah.
Right above the crowd. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I was going to say there's a balcony up there.
Yeah, it was just like a little, if I go to, I haven't been to a show at Delmar. I haven't been to a show in Period in a while. So
Too busy playing it.
I've been working. I'm
Yeah,
a junkie for working.
Yeah.
Staying home and working.
He brought up Ike and Tina, though, and for some of the listeners who may not have tuned into this show, we call this the home of rock and roll because of this story. And, because Rocket 88 was one of the first songs that had rock in it. That's Ike and Tina Turner, right? And the story is that Ike's amplifier fell off the back of his trailer and cracked the speaker.
Studio.
And, so he didn't fix it. He just played it that way, which created distortion.
They said they took crumpled up paper and put it in to hold the speaker up in the amp because it was falling down, and that's what
purposely left the speaker disturbed.
Well, they just couldn't afford a new amp, and they were on their way to Sun to record when it happened.
Well, this was happening in the late 50s, but
That's
back
cool.
to 1954, which is the same time Elvis was coming on the scene. Here, a guy named Chuck Berry played a gig with Johnny Johnson on New Year's Eve, and the story is that Johnny Johnson had a sax player who had a stroke that night. It's New Year's Eve, and he had to find somebody to fill in, and Chuck Berry filled in that night.
He said Chuck was the best player in St. Louis that didn't already have a gig on that New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of musicians play every New Year's Eve, so you can imagine. So then Chuck plays the show with him, and they decide, hey, this guy's got a car. So, and Johnny Johnson said something to the effect, wheels are better than heels. Right? Because they had walked all their gigs, and they had so much fun that they end up going to Chess Records, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Right? So that came right out of East St. Louis, and, and then... you got Ike and Tina, and we could go on and on at this point of all the legends that have come out of here, including, the Allman Brothers spent a lot of time here. Bonnie Bramlett, who we
Dave
brought
Weckl.
up. Yeah.
Yes, Dave Weckl is one of my favorite drummers of all time, and he's from St. Louis. And you ever listen to him play? I was just in Fred Pierce's shop, and I was like, said Dave lives back in St. Louis now. He's like, yeah. I was like, I just try to understand his left hand, Fred. It's just, it doesn't disappoint me that I can never do that. But he goes, well, I was in a studio, and I was like bent over trying to get an angle. I was like, you were in his studio? I was a star. You were in the studio, bent over, looking at Dave's left hand. But yeah, we've spawned so many good musicians right here.
Fred Pearson didn't. He had a drum shop in Granite City, didn't he?
I think that was Fred. It was Frederick's.
Okay, maybe. See, that's why I threw it kind of like a question, because I'm like, I remember a drum shop in Granite City when I was a kid, but
My first snare drum, it was like a 4-piece Ludwig kit my parents got me at an auction, was bought in Granite City. I'd have to look inside the snare is still the sticker from the shop, and. The drums got trashed, but I still got the snares. 71, super sensitive snare. It's really a cool snare. You know what? I sold that kit to get a double bass kit so I could play. and I didn't know what I had, obviously. And it was an oyster 4-piece, Ludwig kit. Probably just could have just let it sit there and it'd been worth that's like an antique. I banged the heck out of it. That's why I learned to play on it. Anyway, this guy shows up at a jam session I was having at my parents when they were away on vacation. And he walked in. I was like, tell me you still have my drums. He goes, no, but I still have the snares in my dad's garage across town. I was like, let's go. I just put them in my car, and I bought it back from him for $40.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was like my baby now. It was in a case. I cleaned it all up, put some fresh heads on it. I didn't even play it. I just put it away. You're back with me.
Bought heads just to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the cool story why I was in Fred's is because I was picking up a new snare drum, and it's Black Beauty Ludwig. And I haven't owned a Black Beauty. And if you're a drummer, the Ludwig Black Beauty is like, it's a really cool drum because it's hand hammered into a ring. There's no seam in this drum, and it's better than I expected. So his first gig was at the pageant the other night, but it's fun when I go to Fred's shop, and I was like, all right, let's find the brass tonight, and he's got brass in there. He's got I played a copper drum in there, a couple different bell drums. Bell drums, I thought I was going to be full bell, but my gut was telling me I got to get this Black Beauty, and one of the guys in there was like, go with your gut, man. Just go with your gut. I was like, wrap it up. Just put it in the box. Let's go. It's done, And but yeah, it was a fun purchase. It's Fred's shop is, get to shop local like that. I try to give him as much business as I can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
For those just tuning in, that's Ryan. He's with Jake's Leg, and he is the drummer. That's why he talks about drums all the time.
Yeah.
That's all he
Support
sleeps
your local drum shop.
eats and
Hey, look, I brought some support in here today.
Oh, look at
see
that.
it.
Yeah. There's our buddy, man. Right down the old road
Right down
there.
the street. Little Alton music.
You know it, man.
we're congratulating him and Jake's Leg on 50 years. They've
you
been
so much.
given their own day in St. Louis now. March 13th is officially Jake's Leg's day.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say. But.
Yeah, I had to revisit the artwork because I just called the guy today. I was like, listen, let's go step back into the past, and I need you to make a new poster for the show that we just played because we didn't know it was going to be Jake's Leg Day. And so we worked it out today, and it's going to be really cool. We're doing it in the same size as the proclamation. It's like a 1422.
So that was kind of a surprise. Then.
Yeah. Found out I was in Louisville, and when I found out, screaming around my hotel room. And so the next day I drove in. Louisville, the city hall. I met the guys down there. Yeah, I was gaining an hour, so I was going in. So.
Straight shot from Louisville straight to the mayor's office.
Yeah, right to the mayor's office.
There you go.
Mayor Spencer, she's a busy lady, and everybody was in there. It was just so super cool. Validated our parking. We were out like bandits with our proclamation.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Fun stories to come, I guess.
And you were like Dennis said, the only band, like hundreds of bands we've had on in 10 years of doing this, but none of them have their own day. None of them have an official proclamation of that. Bottom will say they got that. I got my own days too. You know what? June 5th is my day everywhere. No, but I got no proclamation. No, that's super cool. It's nice to get a nod. That's a big nod right there. That is a big nod.
So happy for them because I'm a fan inside,
Oh, yeah.
I joke with them. I tell them I'm their number one fan because I'm in the band. I'm still a fan. So that makes me a number one fan.
Kind of all Kathy Bates when he said that. Man, I'm your number one fan.
I'm the number one fan.
Don't hobble me, bro.
Now, they're my best friends, Spent a lot of time with these guys. And I think it's a great chemistry of we are very professional when we think about the music and when we play it, and what the mission is really simple when it's just that, nobody's politicking or talking about, that. Everybody knows it kind of comes in with like a let's get it done attitude, and I think that's a lot of probably the good juju to keep, keep everybody getting along for that long. That's hard to do, but when you get a fan base like they have, it's you can't shut it off. It just keeps going. I've sometimes I'll be like, I don't think anybody's going to come out tonight. You know? And, you know, God bless them. So that's the biggest thing that we want to tell everybody is that it wouldn't have happened without all of you. And for the love of the music, I'm going to say that all year. It's Randy's best quote. He nailed it, you know.
For
It's
the
great.
love of the music.
For the love of the music, you know. I mean, because when it comes down to 50 years, guts, glory, whatever you're after, it has to be about the music at that point. Yeah. You know, I don't know what else.
And in 50 years, the music never stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And Jake's Leg's going to be putting their music on display April 4th at the Old Rock House. Then again on April 18th, that's the 420 Street Fest. Where's
That's
that
free
at?
show, yeah. Free show right there on Del Mar.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's probably, you know, where Tivoli Theater's at. And I think it's in a parking lot adjacent to it right there.
I know a lot of Illini fans are tuning in here because we got the Illini featured in the tournament coming up, but it might be Cardinal fans as well. And Jake's Legs playing the St. Louis Cardinals Grateful Dead Tribute Night, April 24th. And that's 2 shows that night. You're playing before and after the game.
Yep.
The after party at Broadway Oyster Bar.
I'd like to thank my tech Tim right now before he does all that work for me. I can't, if I had to lift those drums to 2 shows, I would be broken.
And if you have fear of crossing the bridge, which some people do, we've heard this the whole time we've lived here. It's like, oh, you're playing in St. Louis. I'll wait till you get back on this side of the river. Well, May 30th.
There we
Loading
are.
dock.
May 30th.
The only show
dock.
at the loading dock this year for Jake's Legs. So.
There you go, man. It's going to be another big year. The 50th big year for Jake's Leg, the biggest of all so far. So
We got a Wildie on the book, too, for the summertime.
Nice.
I haven't looked too far ahead. I try not to do that sometimes. There's some dates I work on for the band later in the year. So,
That's
well, congratulations on the 50 years. Congratulations on the March 13th being Jake's Leg Day in St. Louis. And congratulations on just being a part of it all, because isn't that what it's really about?
Yeah,
just being a part of it all. Nah, seriously, as you say, I'm also a Jake's Leg fan. Have been for a long time. Love you guys, and looking forward to all the great stuff to come still. Thanks. We got to get out of here at the bottom of the hours.
Yeah, we're gonna try to back time this big.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
We're moving up to 7:28. So we want to go till 7:30. So we got a couple minutes to thank our sponsors, Halpin Music Company, and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. They've been with us. We're going on 10 years. Wow. So we're about 40 years
congratulations.
behind.
Hey, congratulations, guys. 10 years. Way to get along for 10 years. Good job.
10 years.
Don't be politicking, okay?
Oh, we do. That's what keeps us together.
That's the glue.
Giving each other a hard time.
Yeah.
We come from that era when it was okay to mess with each other.
That's all you do is talk junk on your friends, man.
That's right. Congratulations once again on 50 years. And Jake's Legs Day is March 13th. Right?
13th, yeah, there you go.
Much better than what happened on that other March 13th.
You know? We're not going to get there.
No,
but we could put smiles on people's faces again for another year this year and bring some people together and have fun. We I tell you, if you watch the band, we're kind of in our own little world. We're good at doing that.
As you
but
should be.
It's how it comes out and how you guys accept it. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you too, man. I've been loving the Jake's Leg since the first time I come across them. Again, congrats on the 50 years. Thanks once again, not only to Ryan Wilhite, but all the Jake's Leg guys. Thanks to our sponsors, Halpin and Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. Thanks to everybody out there in radio land listening. And
you still got 30 seconds.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, believe me.
You're watching it? Oh, look at Pig didn't go.
I'm actually watching that clock tick away.
Man, you're
one banana.
You're going back to your Dave Glover days here. I mean, you are.
Look at that. Hey, seriously though, thanks to everybody for listening. And whatever you're going to do this weekend and this coming week, make sure you get out and support local music and or local art.
When you can't listen on the radio, be sure to listen on the Big Z Media app. The Big Z Media app is free.